Okay, welcome to the stage, Post Platforms Foundation. Thank you very much.
Does it work? Yes. Hello, my name is Tourski. I represent Post Platforms Foundation. It's a member of International Data Space Association, actually European Data Space Project. And usually when I present my story and I show this elephant, which represents all kinds of ideas about data space, but today I'm not going to go to these nuances, what are types of data space. I will talk about another picture, that most of people here, they deal with digital ID, keys. And I will try with this presentation to show you a door for those keys. And that's actually the purpose of my presentation. And I believe that this European Data Space Program is a kind of door for all kinds of identity management systems you may have. So, first question, what is this data space thing? I will show you a kind of special flavor of it. We call it Web3 data space, but you'll get an idea. It all started with good old web technology, web server on the left, web browser on the right, created 35 years ago by Tim Berners-Lee. It worked very well, but it's not scalable. Then somebody created platforms, Facebook, Booking.com, SAP, etc. I made my own platform, whatever. And you know how it works. And we have a lot of troubles with these guys. Monopoly, data silos, etc., etc. So we thought, okay, how can we resolve all these issues with just one silver bullet? And it turned out to be very simple. Scissors. We just cut data out of platforms. If you do it like that, you move data here on the kind of websites of people, then you have platform without data. So it means that you can type your post on Facebook, it lands on your personal port, personal online data store, but your friends can read it through LinkedIn or Instagram. They decide themselves. So you have no monopoly of platforms immediately. So people on the right side, they can change platforms, but also it invites a lot of competition because these guys, they have no monopoly anymore, and that's what we need. We need a world where any new platform can come say, well, try me. When you try me, you see all your previous data already stored for yourself, and it's very convenient. And of course, with all of them, you want to use just one key. What also is important here, that this port, Tim Berners-Lee calls it personal online data store, but actually it's website. It represents a single copy of your data. So in your company or in your personal life, you will not have different copies of your data. You keep it only in one copy because all platforms read and write it back to one place, which is quite a big change, you can imagine, no data silos at all. Well, if I put it in kind of 3 lines, Web 1 is web server, web browser. Web 2 is our good old platforms, but this, we call it Web 3, is when we take the best from the Web 1, I mean, we need websites, but we also take the best from platforms. We like platforms, we like them very much. The only difference is we don't want them to keep our data inside because we have a much better place for that. That's why we said, well, if it's Web 1, Web 2, we call it Web 3. Here we got into a problem because people ask me, Alex, is it blockchain? So I specifically say, well, it's blockchain-free territory. It has nothing to do with blockchain, just a good old cryptography. Anyway, we call it Web3 data space. Now, what we can get out of it? First question is who might have such ports? Definitely people, that was the idea of Tim Berners-Lee, but organization can do it, or a car, or engine of the car, or pump of the engine of the car may have such a port, so that I can imagine a platform which can answer the question, how many diesel engines are running right now? Yeah, we can do it. So we definitely go to Internet of Things easily. Well, then the reason why I'm showing this presentation to the people from identity world, I would like to show the link between all these great ideas and identity. And now we dive in this direction. First one is electronic reputation. What do we mean by that? Usually with any platforms you use, we have these likes and dislikes we give to any platform. They usually stick to platform and stay with platform. But if you do not allow platforms to keep our data, we want these likes and dislikes come to my port. So after several years as a person, I will collect quite a lot of stuff from my university, school, colleagues, friends. They will like me, my papers, my documents, photographs, whatever. So after a certain time, I can calculate my reputation one way or another, not only for me as a person, but also for organization or for equipment or even for platforms themselves. I don't like Facebook or I like Facebook. It will be recorded on the Facebook port. Well, if you think about this port filled with dislikes, so first idea, why cannot I remove dislikes? Yeah, it's simple. remove dislikes, you have great reputation. Definitely we cannot allow it, so we need some kind of certified likes, dislikes. They should be cryptographically signed. That's the first place where we encounter this requirement for the really security with all kind of cryptographic keys. So all these likes, dislikes will be signed and put to some kind of, not blockchain, but in chain with this hash, whatever, but we need cryptography here. And we'll talk about it. But before we go there, let me pay your attention to the word trust. Because the trust is not only identity. A lot of people here talking about trust is about your identity. It's identity plus reputation. Okay, we all have passports, but am I a good guy or bad guy? It comes only from opinion of people around me. So if you combine this ID management with reputation, which comes from all our dislikes, that's where we have a real trust for society. So reputation is a place where we really link our world with the world of digital ID. Anyway, coming back to security, we definitely need it for our data space. And what we mean by security? Usually, if you look at the history of internet, we created TCP/IP without security in mind. I spent 5 years of my life with Sun Microsystems trying to create IPsec, total disaster. We couldn't do it. Somebody invented the email without security. Somebody invented web, Tim Berners-Lee, without security. And you know the results. SSL, I'm not considering security. So if you think about something like Web3 data space, why don't we think about security in the first place? Sorry. And just for change. But you know, if you want to put security, we cannot put it on top of the systems. We can put only foundation. So if you need security, the foundation of this whatever Web3 data space. And putting security foundation for us means key management. Every person should get a key, private key on the hardware device. We really should be hardware based because it's a big system. But then with one key, you can do a lot of stuff. You can sign, encrypt, vote, or get money from ATM, open your hotel room, or get a rental car. And it's a world without logins and passwords. That's our dream. But in this dream, the central part is this conference, digital ID. But this right part and left part, that's us. We can make platforms to work with this digital ID. That's the data space. So data space surrounds this key management. That's where we meet. This is your key, this is our doors. And of course, the identity management requires PKI systems because we don't use blockchain. And again, we all know how it works. We know it for 52 years since the article of 1972 when it was introduced, but we still don't have it. We don't have a global PKI because problem is not technical at all. The problem is organizational. Because to deploy such a system, we really need to have a business innovation, and that's what we are thinking about. We are now talking to mobile operators, banks. With their help, we can deploy something like that. So this is a purely organizational innovation. It's not technical anymore. And that's again where data space can help. Now, a very interesting question. We have museums. We are very good in cultural heritage. So last year, museums asked us a very simple question. Guys, with your data space, can you preserve our data for a long time? I asked them what's the problem. They said, well, I'm a museum. I use a lot of information systems. As a museum, I'm going to survive 500 years. These systems probably will not survive 15. So, so could you help? I said, yeah, we can, because if museum has such a port, and museum use different platforms for audio guides or 3D or whatever, if one of the systems will be gone, it's okay. Museum will continue with another platform. They're interchangeable because your data is here. But of course, your data is also on some kind of Amazon platform. It also could be gone. That's why probably it will be synchronized copies with competitors like Dropbox or Google or Microsoft Azure. So this combination provides us possibility to keep data for 500 years. This is amazing thing because it will be synchronized here, but platforms are interchangeable. And it creates a world where you as a person or as a company, whenever you put data to any platform which is compatible with this Web3 data space, you could be assured this data stays for 500 years. That's quite a result. And if you keep data for 500 years, what about identifiers? Because it's a website of W3C. I went there and I wanted to check articles from Tim Berners-Lee himself. I click on every article and I got these results. After 25 years, no scientific articles available because there are no persistent IDs in this world. So we're really talking about situation when a particular item, photograph, document, whatever, has ID which is totally independent from platforms. So that 200 years later, you can click on the same photograph, you get exactly the same image. And because we go to definitely Internet of Things and this kind of stuff like files, we are talking about ID range of 10 in the power of 25, which is quite a challenge itself. And again, we address this challenge in our data space world, so we can help with managing this kind of ID range. Provenance. Probably you've heard about this NFT kind of stuff. We definitely can do it better if you have good cryptography. So that if I'm a photographer, I made a photograph, I want to claim it's my photograph, then all I need is my keys, of course, but I need a timestamp so that any other photographer who claims it's his photograph can put his timestamp. So if I compare timestamps, I know it's mine. When I know it's mine, it's quite easy with this technology, the spots, to trace when I sell this photograph. If I sell it several times, now it belongs to this guy, any platform in the world will be able to find who is the original owner, then it will trace through all the spots and find who has it now. Well, that's our approach to provenance, which again is very big thing in cultural heritage, but also for corporations. And there are many other ways how data space will change our life. We'll discuss this no vendor lock-in, no data silos. We discussed one user ID for all platforms. Privacy enhancing technologies, let's say extension of cryptography, which will help us to answer the question, how many people purchase this toothpaste from Colgate out of those who have high education, for example, without identifying their names. Electronic reputation discusses big change in industry and our life. Persistent IDs are important part of it, which goes with long-term preservation. Of course, intellectual property rights management. We didn't discuss fake parts, but we can cover fake parts and fake news. We are now working with some university on fake news stuff. Electronic money is quite easy. If you have the sports cryptography, you can put the ledgers as the ports and transfer money directly between people. You don't need banks here anymore. Or, for example, advanced HR. But before I go to HR, just to know that these red elements, it's where data space needs digital ID guys. So that's where we interact. And by the way, for the first time, security becomes not something extra burden, because most engineers, they are afraid of security. Well, we don't want it. But it's a situation when security is enabler for new services. And that's what's very interesting about this merge of data space and ID world. Couple of words about HR. Usually when I talk to ID guys, they give me example of this university diploma. Okay, let's dive into that. Imagine a girl and university which provides diploma. And usually we think that university has the original, so she gets a copy to her wallet. They call it wallet. But imagine this diploma, university will change something, probably cancel diploma or change the name of the course, whatever. It might be not updated here, so it could be much better if this girl has reference to the original which is here on the university. But it could be in a different way. Probably the girl just married and changed her surname, or she changed her address, or died, or whatever, or changed her telephone number. Changes might happen here, and they will not be reflected here. So we need another way when diploma is not here. Imagine the world where original of the diploma on the personal port of this girl. And then whatever changes happen, they happen here. So we don't need database here. Actually, the university itself could be gone after 20 years. Diploma will still stay here. So probably you're talking not about a wallet here, but about a vault, something much more serious than just a wallet in your pocket. So we put this vault in the center, and then I can find a job with this diploma, or university may change something. As I said, I can change a new name or get a new address from City Hall. So the whole world should rotate around this person with his or her port and this diploma. And this diploma will be changed in very many ways. And definitely should be in the clouds, and that's why we call it the vault. But it's not only about diploma. It's also your documents. It's probably your photographs. It's all your life. So this wallet should become storage for everything you have in your life. Not only you. Probably City Hall may keep their data here, or police may keep data, or as we discussed, university may keep their data here. We really have a world here where you don't need databases here. This is quite extreme. We discussed it, by the way, with Dutch Cadastre. They accepted it. because if Dutch cadastre keep data at the ports of people and houses, they have 100% accurate database. It's quite a change for cadastre. So this is quite a change. And then if you think about wallet, probably the best place for wallet is your private key, which is still on your telephone. So you have this in the cloud, so all your data, but your telephone with a private key, that's probably a good name for a wallet. So we have wallet and what, that's probably the game. Wow. Then if I come back to HR, and this diploma, university, etc., we discussed yesterday with one college here in Netherlands. Actually, we're talking about kind of triangle: a person, employer, and content. And actually, the story should be like that. Imagine I'm a girl, Sarah, and we have information about her on her port. We have information about employer on the port of employer, and information about university on the port of the university or some platform with education. But then all kind of AI platforms in the middle can match this stuff. So one of them will tell, well, Sarah, I've heard from your communication on Facebook, you are not happy with your current job. Actually, I already found you a new job, but before you get there, you have to follow this course from this university and part of the course from another university. But I also guarantee when you get to this new office, the people you'll be working with, I already checked their personal profile. They perfectly match your profile in the perfect well-being groups, whatever they are. But to make such a match, it's not about AI. Most people talk about AI. It's not about AI, it's about data. So if you have data here, here, and here, the magic will happen. If you don't have data, it doesn't. So it's very important that this vault of a person collects all Sarah information from her university, from her friends. Even when she takes a taxi driver and he gives her like or dislike, it should be recorded here. It gives something about her personality. So we are talking a world where people, companies, and in this case, educational organizations, they will have a lot of data about them, and all kinds of platforms will be flying like bees over the flowers, serving them. So to sum it up, definitely we are talking a world with just ID management, ID world, or ID plus data space. At the level of integrity control or authenticity, ID guys can do it. But if you go further, what about live original? Because if you certify with your private key certain document, you cannot guarantee the document is correct. Probably it's copy or wrong copy, outdated copy. Here we're talking about live data, always certified. It could be done only in combination with data space. Or one ID for all services, because we need all platforms to use this ID. It also could be done with help of data space and also PKI deployment. If you talk about trust, if I name trust ID plus reputation, you need reputation, it comes from data space. Fake parts, okay, imagine you have your Boeing aircraft, it landed somewhere in China, they change a blade for your engine. How can you check it's fake or not? If any platform in the world can go to all engines of Pratt & Whitney and check the ID of all the blades, they will find duplicates. Very easy, but you need to have a global ID system for that. Intellectual property control, we discussed it. And finally, ID range. If you talk just about ID for people, it's 10 to the power of 10. We need to go to much deeper scale. Well, conclusion. First of all, consider this Web3 data space in any project you have with corporations. And because it brings simply more value. And interesting phenomena, the larger corporation, the bigger the value. And we spoke recently with Dutch railway systems, they have 1,300 platforms. Wow, these guys need resolution to the problem. So the bigger the system, for example, big city, they are more desperate about need, to get rid of data silos or monopoly of platforms. And our time expectations for this project, probably 3, 4, 5 years, it will start flying. So it's not far away. Well, and finally, there will be a lot of long-term impact, like harnessing AI or participative democracy, etc., but we don't have time now to talk about it. We definitely go to the significant social impacts. Well, that's my story, and I try to explain what kind of doors we provide to your keys. Any questions? It was so clear. I think I made it in 20 minutes, as promised.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you.